This is the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation, hosted by Andy Pickering.
Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. I'm your host and welcome to the Crypto Conversation, a Brave New Coin podcast where we talk to the people building the future in the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency space. My guests today are ArrowHaven and Opal Abyss. ArrowHaven is the Crypto Witch and Opal Abyss is the Dev Witch. And this is a Canadian and Kiwi team behind the Witchz NFT project. So I think we can call this the Crypto Conversation Halloween special. It's time to get a bit witchy. Hey, welcome to the show, ArrowHaven and Opal Abyss.
Hey, thank you, Andy. Thanks so much for having us on the show. We are very excited to be here and cannot wait to get a little bit witchy with you. Just really looking forward to this chat.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it too. Well, welcome, guys. So, funnily enough, I've been talking to a few different NFT projects lately. Most recent podcast I did was with the Titan Tiki team, who are another New Zealand project. So it's really cool to have you guys on as well and put a bit of a shine on some local and international NFT projects, as the case may be. Just to begin with, I know you guys are anonymous, you're pseudo-anonymous, so we're going by your witchy poo names, ArrowHaven and Opal Abyss, but as is custom at the start of the show, it's always good to get a little bit of background from you guys. So just, whatever you're comfortable sharing as a way of introductions, please go for gold.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Well, I'll jump in first as ArrowHaven here. I've been in the crypto industry now for about 10 years, mostly as a investor and then recently as a collector within the NFT space. It's definitely where we started to find ourselves becoming more and more passionate, and especially as we're jumping into the Witchz NFT project, that's been a real chance to let that shine. In real life, I mostly delve in project management and business management and leadership. So that's been kind of my personal background, and I'll hand it over to Opal.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Opal Abyss. I didn't arrive in the crypto space as early as ArrowHaven did. He actually kind of dragged me kicking and screaming into it a couple of years ago and has slowly chipped away at me and brought me down. And now I'm fully on board. But in my day-to-day, I work in digital marketing and I've got a bit of a background in community management.
Very good. Well, those are certainly skills that translate very well to the NFT space. So, let's get to understand a little bit about the Witchz. And I think there's a bit going on here. So I've had a little look around the Witchz Discord community. I've been following you guys on Twitter, looking at what you're doing, and it's almost seasonal, right? Like I said, this is the Crypto Conversation Halloween special, and I think we might as well run with that because Halloween, as we record, it's the 21st here in New Zealand today, so Halloween is only 10 days away. But I'm just kind of setting the stage here. Let's use this as an introduction. I guess why Witchz, and is the month of October, does that have any special significance to your project, and why you're minting the Witchz in October?
Yeah, I'd say October definitely has a lot of significance for us. Halloween, or All Hallows Eve, is a pretty strongly culturally tied thing to Witchz. We definitely considered our launch time and aimed to line it up with Halloween, partly because we think a lot of people are willing to embrace a little bit of spookiness and a little bit of magic around this time of year, but also partly because All Hallows Eve is a time where the fables say that we can commune with the spirits, and witches are at their most powerful, and launching at our most powerful seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, let's have a high-level summary then of the Witchz NFT project. So talk to me. I want to hear how many witches there are, what platform, what blockchain you're minting on, anything else that's appropriate for the kind of the high level vision.
Yeah, that sounds great. So pretty much Witchz is going to be created and has been created on the Polygon network using the native token Matic for our upcoming mint. There's going to be 6,666 witches in total. So this is a generative collection. And so we're going to be having used the code built by Opal Abyss there, our dev witch, in order to generate these unique witches. And then it's going to be sold for, I guess, 77 Matic in the upcoming mint here. And yeah, that's pretty much the very brief kind of high level there.
And we should point out the minting date or the start date for minting, which is when?
So witches will be available for public sale as of 0000 UTC on the 24th of October. So just a couple of days away at this point.
And I believe each mint is, or each witch, if you like, 77 Matic. Is that right?
Yeah, that is. And of course, as you kind of have to in this industry, it moves fast and value changes. But ultimately, that's kind of where we figured a really fair price point would be, especially given that the beautiful thing about Polygon is it is a virtually gas-free blockchain. So it's kind of just gives us a chance to play around and really be inclusive with the whole community. So we'll keep an eye on the market. It's been a boomer of a day today, but for the time being, it will be 77. If things go absolutely crazy, we'll adjust accordingly.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you guys are minting on Polygon, because I think you alluded to this, Mr. Arrow, low gas fees, right? Or very minimal when compared to Ethereum. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys as NFT collectors have seen this countless times by now. Whenever there's a really popular project that is minting, yeah, the gas wars or the gas prices, they can really become off-putting quite quickly. And even if you try and bump up your gas, you can still miss out, and it's not always a great experience on Ethereum, right?
Yeah, that is what we found in our experience, just kind of on the collector front there. There's always the meme that goes around of, the $20 NFT that you've just paid $200 in gas for. So it's definitely something that we were looking to avoid. And the fast transaction times on the Polygon network also made that a bit of an appeal as well. So hopefully avoiding those gas wars, as you put it. And
so why... well, I guess it's obvious, really, but 6,666 witches, that's just a nice spooky number.
Yeah, so definitely leaning into the 666 trope there, but there's also a lot of suggestion within witch culture that repetitive numbers, so 6666 or 3333 or 111, which is how many OGs we have in our community, have additional power behind those numbers.
Yeah, nice. Well, talking of, I suppose, witch culture, Opal, talk to me a little bit more about that. Like, it says on your website that you're, in some respects, paying homage, if you like, to the kind of the Wiccan witch culture of Europe, and also North America have a witchy poo tradition as well. Most old cultures do. Some of it's good, some of it's not so bad, but all of it is interesting. So yeah, love to kind of hear about that background, and maybe also talk more about the art itself and who is creating the art.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, we are looking to pay homage to the more European, Northern American idea of witches. We have had a few people in our community ask if we'll be including kind of more Eastern witches or African witches, and that's definitely something that we'll be considering down the line. But at the moment, we kind of stuck to what we know, which is really that traditional movie witch of the West. We've taken a lot of our cues from films and how witches have shown up there. We've also incorporated a little bit of Wiccan practice into our thinking. That being said, we aren't particularly true to any one Wicca sect or anything like that. We've taken a lot of creative license with the way that our lore shows up. But one of the things that led us into witches initially was actually our artist, whose name or screen name is AmethystMoon. So she is quite into witches and the stories and legends behind them, as well as some of the kind of like learnings that people can take from witches in terms of enhancing their own spirituality. And so she's really led the kind of Wicca influence within the project.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this. So, I love it that I love it that this is obviously you've got Mr. Arrowhead, who his voice sounds male to me, but yourself and the artist itself, Opal. So it sounds like there's a very strong female influence behind the project, which I think is great, and you'd expect that for, I guess, a witch's Wiccan project, and it's always good to see more female representation in crypto, and I think there's probably more female representation in the NFT community than maybe kind of crypto trading. I don't know, I'm generalizing, but it's cool to see either way. But yeah, so what is Wicca? What is Wiccan? You talked about kind of the Wiccan spirituality and just kind of having creative license, but having some fun with it as well. Can you just give us some, I don't know, a couple of examples of what you mean?
So some examples of where we've incorporated the aspect of Wicca is things like the full moon circle, which we've kind of based some of our community on Discord around, and the way that the community comes together in the Wicca practice. The full moon circle is a time that their community gathers and kind of shares within their spirituality together. So we've really gone off that. We also planned for our launch to happen right after the blood moon, so in a waning moon, which is supposedly a time for kind of preparing for new things to occur. And then there's little bits of homage to it within the art as well. So one of our necklaces is a pentacle, which is quite a powerful symbol within Wicca. And there's just little touches of it sprinkled through the whole collection.
Nice. And what sort of reaction, I suppose, have you had from the community? And are you starting? I guess it's still early days, but what's the makeup of your community? I mean, I guess in some respects, it's difficult to tell because it's just a bunch of anonymous avatars in a Discord channel, right? But where do you get a sense of? Is it mostly male or female? Are they from all around the world? And are there many kind of, I don't know, Wiccan curious people?
So we do actually have a little bit of data in our community. It's definitely not a full picture, but within our Discord, we've given people a space to kind of say whether they're male or female or something else. We've given people a space to let us know their star signs, where they're from in the world. And based on that, we're definitely finding that we do have more males than females, but not by a huge margin, and definitely less than a lot of the other communities within the NFT space that we've been a part of. And we're finding that most of our witches are either North American, from the oceanic countries, or from Japan. We've had quite a large following join us from Japan. But there's definitely a few people within our community that are witch curious, for sure. We've got one or two members who are actually active witches and practice Wicca within their own life, and we've been really lucky that they've shared some aspects of that with us. We've also definitely got the group of people that are more here for the Halloween Hollywood style of witch and are more playing a character within our Discord.
Yeah, that's wonderfully said. Very, very well articulated. And I mean, you've got to be open to all comers, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely the truth.
One of the things that I thought was interesting about the approach that you guys are taking is, and you're seeing this from, I suppose, a lot of different NFT teams at the moment, is, I guess I'm talking about the elements, air, earth, water, and fire. So you made those available first, effectively as I think a free mint, really, but they will become more valuable later on, or they will be part of the reveal process, I guess is one way of describing it. So will you guys pick up the thread? So how do the elements work? How do the witches work? And then there's the familiars as well, I believe. So I guess this is all part of the same witches ecosystem.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So what we're looking at doing is really just trying to create something fun that, I guess, rewards the community members for just being involved and being present and right from the beginning. So what we're kind of building at this stage is just a sort of original series within the Witchz NFT world, and that's the Elementz NFT, Witchz NFT, and then upcoming the Familiars NFT as well. And so the concept behind that was just that we wanted to kind of do a bit of a proof of concept and get something out to the people in the community who have been around from day one, and just really give people the opportunity to just get involved with virtually no outlay on their end, and just being able to start contributing and building up the lore that we're creating and everything else. And so that was the Elementz NFT project. And that was the first one to come. And so we did 666 elements, and that was a free mint, which we just ran. We created a small website just to get that out there. And what's been really cool with that is we've kind of tried to build in the value between the elements and the witches. And so by getting those ones out there right away, we had initially over 500 unique holders within the first kind of couple of days. And we're starting to see that refine a little bit, where we've got about 397 unique addresses now that are holding the Elementz NFTs. And what's so cool about that is we're seeing some addresses that might have started off with one or two who now have full collections of all 4 elements. And then, some who have also swooped in there and perhaps snagged as many as 20 or more. So I think as people are learning the value that we're trying to build in with them, it's becoming quite popular. And so the general concept with them is that you're able to pair a matching element with a matching witch at this point in time. And that's going to unlock kind of exclusive benefits within the community. The first of those we actually just announced yesterday, which is going to be 10% of all of our mint, I guess, profit, you could say, that comes in will be airdropped back to the community in order to just kind of thank people for being involved and for sticking through this amazing journey with us. And yeah, I guess that's the starting point for that.
Yeah, well, I was that was going to be what I mentioned next, because I saw that you announced this on Twitter just yesterday, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I suppose people have done this before, but yeah, I thought that was a really cool gesture, if you like. So talk me through how that will work. The airdrop, I mean, the 10% part of the entire mint being effectively, airdropped back to parts of the community, right?
Yeah, so the airdrop will happen in 2 stages. The first stage will happen when we hit 50% of our witches having been minted. And at that point, we will find wallets that hold a element and then hold a witch that has that element in her palm, and we'll basically collect a full list of everybody that meets that criteria, take 10% of what we've minted so far and divvy it up between them and drop it straight into their wallet. Then once we reach 100% of our mint, we'll be airdropping our familiars into everybody who owns a Witchz wallet. The familiars will also have an element symbol within them, and we'll give people 1 week after we airdrop those to kind of trade and match their familiar to their witch and their element. And after that 1 week, we'll be finding everybody who meets the criteria of having all 3 matching, and we'll take the 10% from the second half of our minting and airdrop it straight to those people.
Awesome, awesome. And just tell me, or tell the listeners again, when it is possible to mint a witch. It's the 24th. So that is this Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it's October 24th, and we're launching at 0000 UTC. So that should put it in a good time bracket for most people around the world. Unfortunately, it's impossible to get everyone. So hopefully there'll be some late night witches, perhaps through Europe, staying up for it.
But for our Kiwi listeners, that's about 1 p.m.
Yeah. Is it 1 p.m. Sunday or 1 p.m. Monday?
Sunday.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, let's zoom out. Let's take it a bit wider. I'd love to just kind of get your guys' thoughts on, I don't know, I suppose like the NFT space in general. From what I understand, you guys are reasonably active NFT collectors yourselves.
Yeah, that's right. We're involved in quite a few different communities and try to contribute wherever possible. And just, yeah, like to be involved and find different places to add value.
I think it's a really, really exciting space to be in at the moment. ArrowHaven and I are both of the opinion that NFTs are really just at the beginning, and that there's a lot of space for them to grow as a concept. But at the moment, we're just really thrilled to see the diversity that's coming out in the space. I think when NFTs kind of first rose to fame or infamy, they were really heavily focused on pixelated PFP projects. And since then, we've just seen the whole field diversify so much. And now we're seeing artists produce incredibly detailed one-for-one pieces. We're seeing generative pieces with in-depth, fully illustrated art. We're seeing things produced for the gaming communities. There's just this incredible diversity that's emerging, and I think it's so exciting.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, do your in real life friends, family, colleagues know that you guys are kind of moonlighting as NFT witches?
Yeah, we've definitely let a few of them in on the secret and the magic, and some of them have followed suit to a certain extent. But for the most part, I think we keep it fairly under wraps, with a lot going on in real life, I suppose you could say, and just kind of somewhat separating the two. But whenever people are keen for a conversation, we're there to have it. So yeah, it's been pretty fun.
And what about, there's always there's a disconnect, right, between, I guess the easy way to say it is there's a disconnect between what the mainstream thinks. Let's start from, Bitcoin, what the mainstream thinks Bitcoin is, and then what they think cryptocurrency means, and then what they think an NFT is. And, there's quite a wide chasm of misunderstandings, shall we say. Do you think that will change anytime soon, or what needs to happen?
In my opinion, what we're really seeing right now is so early stages that that disconnect, it would be impossible for it not to be there. The most common comment I really get is, "Oh, so NFTs, money laundering, right?" And I'm sure that will be changing with time. But what I really think needs to happen to make that possible is just more of a smooth onboarding process for people, to the point where I honestly believe that in time, they're not even going to realize that they're using cryptocurrency or these digital assets, whether they're NFTs or currencies themselves, and that it's going to be possible for people to really just utilize the technology without even realizing they're utilizing the crypto that's powering them, or the blockchains, I should say, that's powering them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I completely agree. It's, as soon as you can do some kind of transaction and not even know necessarily that you're interacting with a blockchain, everything gets a little bit easier. But I think it's been surprising actually how much has happened with the NFTs this year. I think the kind of the scale of the adoption has taken everyone by surprise and even still, we're still very early, but you see, just the kind of the number and level of, particularly American, I suppose, sports stars, high profile music personalities, Snoop Dogg, Mark Cuban, there's a lot of quite influential people really going quite big into NFTs in quite surprisingly nuanced ways. Do you think?
Oh yeah, I completely agree. They've added an incredible amount of depth and done genuinely amazing things for the space as well. I think just really trying to educate people on the variety of ways that NFTs can be applicable in real life, and the ways that you can really tie virtually anything physical to the blockchain using the smart contracts is really an incredible thing to see. And really, once you start to get those really influential individuals behind it and releasing, whether it's new music albums that people can kind of have a share of the ownership in, or their own personalized collections, or special incentives for their truest fans, and just all of these types of things that they're doing. It's been really, really fun to be a part of, and just kind of to observe to a certain extent as well, because there's so much that goes on within the space. It's genuinely impossible to capture it all.
It is actually. I just saw today, I don't know if you saw that Andrew Yang, are you across what he's doing with his new political, I guess it's a political party. I think it's called the Forward Party. And the idea being that, America is just so kind of stuck between left and right, and there's no middle ground. But Andrew Yang, bless him, is trying to push forward with the Forward Party. And I think he released an NFT a day or two ago in collaboration with the Bankless crew as a fundraising mechanism. And yeah, it's just, once people start doing, there's just a million and one uses for NFTs, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as all of these new use cases are found, be it in politics or within the sporting community or music, it's going to start bringing new people into the NFT space. So followers of the Forward Party are likely going to be exposed to NFTs for the first time through that action. Yeah,
that's right. And that is just good for everyone. All right. Well, hey, I want to switch gears again. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, ArrowHaven, but I just, it's just an interesting story. And I know we have covered this on A Brave New Coin, and I'm really referring to the unfortunate incident with Quadriga X. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I had a feeling this is where this one was going. Quadriga CX. It was a Canadian exchange that popped up and popped down, I suppose you could say, very, very quickly there.
Yeah, so look, don't worry, we're not going to go into this in detail, but it's just a fascinating story. So give me the kind of the high level summary of what, I mean, most people will be aware of it. It's one of, there are a few, well, there's Mount Gox, there's Cryptopia here in New Zealand, there's Quadriga X. Those are just kind of three of the big exchanges that kind of, well, I don't know, exit scammed, or just something went terribly wrong, and a lot of users of those exchanges effectively lost access to whatever assets they had on those exchanges, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is essentially what happened. And at the time, I mean, it was just so hard to believe. I mean, I'd been using Quadriga CX for probably a year to 2 years at that point. And I guess I had made the mistake of not keeping my Satoshis inside of my own cold storage. But more or less what happened was they came onto the Canadian scene and established themselves as kind of the go-to crypto exchange within Canada. And they really seemed to be following all of the regulation. There was talks of, them wanting to go public at one point as well. And they did a fascinatingly amazing job of really just making people think they were bigger than they were. And when it came down to it, it was more or less one guy running it off of his computer by the end of it out of Ontario. And it really wasn't what it had seemed to be. So they were handling an enormous sum of money coming through the crypto space. And when they did finally, I suppose, go under and have to declare bankruptcy, it was due to the fact that the founder had taken a trip to somewhere in Africa, upon which he unfortunately passed away. So the story there goes. And at that point, it turned out that all of the funds were held in cold storage. And so there was nothing to give back to the people because he was the only person who had the seed phrase. So, I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but in a nutshell, that kind of summarizes it. And yeah, it was just a very interesting point in time, and perhaps one that, I wish I hadn't been a part of, or if I hadn't, I guess, would have learned my lesson a bit differently.
And are those assets, can they be seen on chain? Are they just still sitting there? They haven't been moved?
Yeah, that's right. So they are still on chain. To my knowledge, have not been moved. It's been going through the Canadian legal system. We still get updates every once in a while, just regarding the actual class action lawsuit that's been going on with it, because there are quite a few claimants on that one, of course, as well. And to my knowledge, they have not managed to recover any of the funds at this point. And I'm hoping that, in time they do, of course, but it's not looking likely so far.
So last question, I guess, on this is, what do you think happened? Do you think it is as simple as this guy, the founder, who had not given anyone else backups of the seed phrase or had any kind of multi-sig in place, and he just died in mysterious circumstances, and it's as simple as that? He just didn't give anyone else access, and that's it?
I have a really hard time believing that is the case. The more digging that I did into it, the more interesting things started to come up regarding his past and some of the people that he had perhaps interacted with. Right. And it just was looking less and less likely that it really was, of natural causes, so to speak.
Okay.
So that's, a bit of mystery, bit of intrigue, but might leave that one there, I guess.
That is very much the story of crypto.
Oh, absolutely. It's all a part of the magic, I suppose.
All right, Witchz. Well, let's go to a very quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll have some fun. We'll finish off with the very famous crypto conversation hot take round.
That sounds fantastic.
In today's crypto market, the team at Brave New Coin are the sector's leading builders of custom crypto indices. BNC's powerful indexing engine draws on Brave New Coin's premium data to calculate high-frequency intraday and end-of-day indices for a wide range of index products. BNC's custom indices help you to gain exposure to the crypto assets class and track your performance against the market without having to become a stock picker. Brave New Coin's custom indices team delivers experienced consultancy, premium data, and trusted calculation. Contact BNC today to find out more.
All right, we're back, and I'm with ArrowHaven and Opal Abyss from the Witchz NFT project, which is minting this weekend, or by the time I publish this, probably very, very soon. So yeah, this Sunday, which is probably, either tomorrow or around now, but depending on when we publish this. So yeah, do check it out. All the details on how to find the Witchz community will be at the end of the show. But Arrow and Opal, I like to finish each Crypto Conversation podcast with a quick round of rapid fire Crypto Conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Ooh, pressure's on.
I think we got this. We can do it.
You can do it. All right. So, it's always fun when we've got two guests on the show. Easiest way to do it is probably if you just take turns answering a question. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So whoever wants to go first, it's fine by me. But just want your hot takes, guys. Quick, snappy answers. Question number one is, where do you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-coin opportunist spectrum?
I am gonna perhaps not shamefully admit that I am a total degen, and though I do hold some Bitcoin, and in the past I had held a lot more, as we kind of covered there, these days I am all opportunist and just looking for the newest altcoins or NFTs.
All right. Okay, next question. What would you say, Opal, is your firmest conviction, a crypto opinion?
I think my biggest conviction within it is just that we're at the start. There's so far for this to grow, and the people that jump on board now are going to really reap the benefits in 5, 10, 20 years time.
Yes, indeed. Very early as the meme goes. We're still early. Here's a curveball, Mr. Arrow. UBI as a potential fix for AI-induced automation, or a potential fix for a future dystopian world where wealth inequality is out of control. UBI, good idea or bad idea?
I think there's a lot of implications that would be hard to truly consider for a bit of a political answer there, but I like the premise. I like the concept that with the way that the world's going, you know, there are opportunities and different avenues that we can explore to, you know, keep the, I guess, the level of which people are living at high. But beyond that, I'm not fully convicted yet that it's going to play out super well.
All right. Well, Opal, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. So whatever you like here, the Witchz community, NFTs, DeFi, what does it all look like in 10 years' time?
I mean, it's a huge question given that 1 year in the crypto space is about the equivalent of 10 years anywhere else.
Yes.
But I really think that the sky is the limit for Witchz. I'd love to see us integrate within the metaverse and create a full immersive experience for people. And I guess the metaverse, in terms of the broader scale of NFTs, is a space that I really see us moving in.
Yeah, and just as an aside, have you guys seen that, you know, old Mark Zuckerberg is effectively... Old Mark, mate, what are you doing, Mark? Wants to rebrand Facebook as a metaverse company. He's trying to give us all the cool crypto people a bad name by kind of co-opting the metaverse, right?
Yeah, and only 2 weeks after Facebook had their issues there and went offline for a little while, it really is something to see.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. William Gibson said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. Can you think of an example of the future being here right now, Mr. Arrow, but most people just aren't really aware of it?
I mean, you know, looking deep within the NFT space, I suppose, it's been a bit of a hot topic lately, but my absolute favorite is just DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations. And that's just the first thing that really pops to mind for me. It's just a whole new structure of, you know, I suppose group investing or decision making, and just a way to really empower the community and just move them forward. You know, it kind of takes all of those big decisions out of the hands of, you know, the boardroom perhaps, and puts them back in the hands of the community and the investor and, you know, the individual, which for me is just really exciting.
For sure, absolutely. Give me an example of a DAO that you're particularly enamored by.
I mean, my go-to at the moment is the Thugbirds DAO. A little shout out to them there. They are just one of the most engaged communities that I've seen. People are just constantly coming up with new ideas and suggestions, and they're just really working together to kind of add value to what is, relatively speaking, a small NFT project with only 3,333 Thugbirds in existence, I suppose.
Very nice. All right, well, time to zoom out, team. What do we see as the long-term future for the human race? Are we seeing dystopia or utopia?
Look, I'm a huge proponent of history as always repeating itself. I think we're going to see a repetition of what's happened in the past, where the rich become richer, the poor become poorer, and then the poor revolt. I think we'll just see that happen again and again over time with the context that it's happening in changing. But I think the biggest change to the context for us is going to be that this planet slowly becomes less and less habitable.
That's right. Well, if you guys keep minting NFTs and burning the planet, that's exactly what will happen.
There's a reason we went Polygon.
Yeah. All right, let's close this out, team. The final question on the Crypto Conversation Hot Take Round, and love to get answers from you both. What is your favorite science fiction book, film, show, or universe?
Yeah, I mean, that is a kind of exciting one. I'll keep it snappy though. For me, short, sweet, Firefly. Just was ready to jump into a world that never came to be, but yes. that was definitely on the list for myself.
Awesome. Yeah, my partner's a massive Firefly nerd.
Oh, it's the way to be.
Opal.
I'm going to go a little bit off book and say the future from Back to the Future.
Yes. Growing
up, I really wanted one of those hoverboards.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Brilliant answer. Awesome. Hey, this has been fun, guys. I've enjoyed talking witches with you. Nothing else to say really, except to hand the metaphorical microphone back to your good selves. Please tell the listeners where they can go to engage with the Witchz community. Where can they find the Discord, the Twitter? Again, please shill the mint date and the mint cost, all that good stuff. Take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Andy, again, for just having us on here. It's been an absolute blast. As you said, it's all about the community. So we do just want to do a quick shout out to one of our community members, ArrowHaven, for actually linking us up with you through the Twitter sphere there. So that was
shout out ArrowHaven. Yes, my man.
Just talk about someone who gets involved and really, makes some magic in the community. So that is super special. That aside, though, on Twitter, we are at Witchz with a Z, so WITCHZ NFT. And from there, you'll be able to link straight to our Discord community as well. And then the website for the mint and just to learn more about the Witchz project is witchsnft.art. So again, Witchz with a Z or a Z, depending on whereabouts you come from. And other than that, minting is October 24th. 0000 UTC, and we'd love to have you in the coven.
Our mint price will be 77 Matic, and as we've covered, we're on the Polygon chain, so there are virtually no gas fees associated with that. We'll be minting out 6,666 uniquely generated art pieces. We had 27,500 unique art strokes that went into creating this. So the art is really, really dense there.
Yeah, we didn't even go into how dense the art is, but I saw I think it was on your Twitter. It was your artist. She posted, I don't know, what do you call it? Like a kind of a time lapse with all the different like Photoshop layers and stuff that goes into the art. It's quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it really is. She works magic. And again, yeah, we could not do this without AmethystMoon. It's really her art that we're looking to feature and share with the world. And it's been a really amazing way to get to do that.
All right, team. Well, nothing else to say except happy Halloween, and wish you witches all the best, and we'll see you on the moon.
That sounds incredible.
There, all right, there you go. That was the Witchz, a kind of joint New Zealand Canadian NFT project. Fun to talk to those guys, Arrow and Opal. Hope you enjoyed the show. Was it a Halloween special? I think it was a Halloween special because we're close enough to Halloween. It's almost the end of October. It's the blood moon and the witches are minting. So do get yourself over to the Witchz Discord, the Twitter, and mint yourself a witch on Polygon. Why not? All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the Crypto Conversation podcast in whatever podcast app you are using. And if you want to get at me, you can just drop me an email, andy@bravenewcoin.com. Shout out Eli Herf. Hope you're doing good, man. All right. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave